Did we learn anything else substantial out of the Sunday action? Kind of look over it. I like to kind of start to look at the playoff picture now when we get to this spot in time. And if you were to go in and look at the playoff race right now, Furman, as we mentioned to start off the show, the Patriots would be your 1 seed. I'm doing the AFC first. Titans, your 2 seed. We just talked about the Ravens. They're your 3. Kansas City, the offense still a little bit wobbly, but seems to be getting itself back together again. Buffalo has fallen all the way to the 5. And if they lost this game, they would be close to out of the playoffs. That's how much of a spread 7-5 versus 8-4 would be. The Chargers are sitting at 7-5. Bengals are 7-5. You just mentioned Pittsburgh at 6-5-1. Colts are 7-6. And then you got Vegas, the Browns, and the Broncos all sitting at 6-6. Miami's gotten hot. They fought all the way back to 6-7. Essentially, my question for you, Furman, is this. Who are you confident in the AFC, or do you want to withhold judgment till you see what happens in tonight's game between the Bills and the Patriots?
So if I'm looking to try and identify some value in the futures market right now, I have skepticism about all of these teams. I don't think there is a team 1 through 53 that you go, hey, look, they're clearly the team to beat. So I'd look at a team on the outside looking in right now in the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, they've been so close in a couple of these games. I mean, how much different is the narrative if they don't blow a double-digit lead against the Bucs last weekend? They had a suffocating performance defensively. I know it's the Houston Texans, but they're starting to figure out what their DNA is, and it's all built around Jonathan Taylor. So it allows Carson Wentz to operate with, underappreciated weapons in the passing game. I think defensively they're above average, and I really believe the Colts are going to have a lot to say about who comes out of the AFC this season. You mentioned Kansas City. There's no doubt that this offense has looked better in fits and spurts, but I think the book is out on kind of how to defend them. So to Kansas City's credit, they played a game that was relatively tight to the vest because they could lean on their defense yesterday, and they were never truly threatened by Teddy Bridgewater, who was hobbled, and a Denver offense that was essentially Javonte Williams and not much else. So Kansas City's going to be there when the dust settles. I think the Colts will be there. We'll talk about the Bills a little bit more. We'll see how they handle New England, of course, tonight. But those teams will play twice in the span of 3 weeks. But yeah, I think it's as wide open as we've seen in the AFC, and it's why we all love the NFL. The team that I obviously neglected there is your beloved Titans. Let's see if they can get healthy at the skill positions, because under their current construct, there's no chance they get out of the AFC. But suddenly, if you're talking Derrick Henry back in the fold, A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, they look to be a much more dynamic offense paired up with a defense that's shown an ability to get after opposing quarterbacks.
NFC. Cardinals 10-2. They got back Kyler Murray and Hopkins. Green Bay 9-3. Tampa Bay 9-3. Dallas 8-4. The Rams 8-4. Believe it or not, the Washington football team has fought themselves up into the playoffs right now at 6-6. Then you've got the 49ers at 6-6. The Eagles are sitting at 6-7. The Minnesota Vikings coming off of a brutal loss against the Lions, sitting at 5-7. The Panthers have fired their offensive coordinator, the once white-hot Joe Brady. And then you got the Falcons and also the Saints, who are sitting at 5-7. How would you break down the NFC right now from your perspective, Furman? Who are the teams that should be considered the favorites in your mind?
Yeah, I think the NFC is a little bit more of a clean picture. Tampa, for me, still the team to beat out there. This is a side offensively that's going to get better once Antonio Brown heals up and serves his suspension. You just throw another weapon into the mix. We've seen this Tampa defense kind of get by over the first 12 games of the season. They'll be just fine when it matters most. I'm not willing to buy into the Green Bay Packers. I haven't been for the last couple of seasons unless they get Jair Alexander back and some of their pass rush help. Arizona and the Rams are going to be interesting. I know they play a week from today, so we'll get a better indication of where they are. The Cardinals, they check every box for you, but you wonder about the experience level for meaningful football from Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray as well. So I can't say, despite the way that they're being priced and performing on the road, that they're the runaway freight train in the NFC. So I guess if I had to pick an NFC champion right now, it's going to be Tampa, just based on Tom's pedigree. I think they'll be healthier. So we're probably talking about Tampa having a chance to defend its Lombardi trophy if they continue to trend in the right direction.